So welcome to day 4. Oh my goodness, this is day 4 of the spring into action, gain traction. So just to summarize, we looked at what's creating that treacly feeling, what's causing the procrastination, the overwhelm, the frustration. We looked at all of those things on Monday. We kind of shone a light on them to once you have that awareness, then you're able to deal with it. It's when it's under the surface. Morning, Floss. Good to see you. It's when it's under the surface that it can cause all sorts of problems. So that's what we were doing on Monday. And then on Tuesday, we looked at how you can harness the power of what it is you want, power of focus on what it is you want, the power of purpose, so why you want it, and the purpose of identity and the power of identity in order to get yourself into action. So that was really the focus of Tuesday. And then yesterday we started to look at just kind of hone back in. Hey, Irina, good to see you, hun. Then we looked at honing in on your ideal client avatar yesterday, because again, it's when you reconnect to that individual that you're here to serve, because sometimes we can get blown about, we get distracted, we forget the core, focus becomes very much on ourselves when we're in a state of perhaps fear or overwhelm or frustration. Why aren't I getting results quick enough? All of that is turning the focus inwards, and so we lose sight of the real reason we're here, and that is the people we're here to serve. So yesterday was about bringing your focus back onto that individual, and in that way reconnecting to your passion, because passion is the energy that moves mountains. When you are aligned with your passion, that's what gets you sort of bouncing out of bed in the morning, feeling really excited and inspired to get to work. That's the energy that invites creativity, creative ideas, resources, people, conversations that all align with your goal and help you to take those steps towards what it is you want to attract. And it's also that energy of manifestation as well. When you're in that place, you attract everything that is a match to your desires. So today's session is very much on the back of yesterday, just getting that refining on your passion and who it is you're here to serve. Today is about looking at how to position yourself as the expert. And again, I know all of you, and I know that you've been through this process in one form or another at some stage or another. But just like yesterday's exercise, it is worth just repeating every 6 months or so, coming back to these practices, these exercises, because you're growing constantly. Month on month, you evolve in your thinking, your mindset, you have insights, you have revelations. I know you're all hooked on personal development. You're all constantly kind of finding ways to align and improve and make life easier and more peaceful for yourself. So you're evolving constantly. And this is why I really recommend just coming back to these exercises, because as you evolve, so does your ideal client. So no, Rebecca, it doesn't matter. Yesterday, I would recommend it to go back to yesterday, because I was just saying that was about reconnecting to your passion, remembering who it is you're here to serve. So today, sorry, the blinds are making the light a little bit difficult to see it so clearly, but today I'm just going to go through, and this is going to be probably a sort of half hour, depending on kind of, your questions afterwards. But I just want to go into this expert positioning story piece, because thank you, Claire, that's good, because this again enables you to kind of step into your power, let's say, because you remember and you connect to, this is why I'm so darn passionate about what I do, and this is what sets me apart. I've walked the walk. I've navigated that journey. I know how it feels to be my ideal client, how it feels to wake up every morning with the problem that she has and that you solve. And so when you connect to that, it does give you, again, it reignites that fire in your belly to say, oh my God, I want to go out and help her. I want to go out and I want to shake these people by the shoulders and say, what you're suffering with is not necessary. I can help you. So this is the purpose of today, to kind of reconnect you to that part of your story. And And then just as a quick message, I put out a post yesterday. I've had to rearrange tomorrow. I've created a recording for you for tomorrow morning that's going out at 9. It's just pre-recorded short training. And then I've rescheduled tomorrow's session for Monday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So I hope that that's convenient for you. So without further ado, so this is your expert positioning story. So if you've got paper there, I want you just to draw a big U shape on your paper. And in the top, I couldn't do it tomorrow. Okay, that's great, Rebecca. Some things are just meant to be. So in the top left of this U, I want you to write the words who am I? Who am I? And in the bottom, the well, the dip, where I've been, or my journey. Oops. Where I've been, my journey. And then as you come out the top right, it's where I'm going and who I'm taking with me. So where I'm going and who I'm taking with me. Now, just to preface this is an expert positioning story. And this actually can be adapted for us. I've done this as a 60-minute presentation in a live workshop, and you can do it literally as a 60-second intro to who you are on a telephone conversation or discovery call. So it's really adaptable. So it's positioning why somebody should listen to you. What makes you an expert? It's an aspirational story as well. It's your aspirational story. And also it sets you apart because you connect to your audience from an emotional level, which is really important. So when you look at who am I? This is really the introduction. So you're saying, hey, my name is such and such. I am a whatever coach you are, I'm a business owner, how you identify yourself now, but also how you show up now. So it could depend on your niche, how you show up now, but it's very much about, I say, for example, with me, I might say, I run a passion-fueled business. Every day I get to serve people within my zone of genius. I'm on purpose. I've got the freedom. So I'm really creating a positioning that this is who I am now. This is what I've created for myself. So it's a very positive and aspirational introduction. And it positions where you are, and it's aspirational for your audience. So it's where they want to get to effectively, but you're telling them this is where I am at now. And then with that introduction, you then go into, and I've just drawn a gap across the line here to say there's a sentence that joins who I am to where I've been. And that sentence it's a variation of but it wasn't always like this. But it wasn't always like this. Or you could say, but I've not always been this way. So it's a variation. It's whatever kind of flows for you, but it's essentially a variation of, but it wasn't always like this for me. And this is then when you take them into that part of the story which defines the struggle. So, but it wasn't always like this for me. You could say, if you'd have met me literally just 2 years ago, you might have known about me that. And then you go into the story. but it wasn't always like this for me, because there was a time when. So you just use whatever words suit you and your story, but that's essentially where you're taking them. If you'd have met me in 2018, you would have met a very different version of me. So, for example, I might say, I'm an author. I've written a book about being paid in full. I run a passion-filled business. I've got the freedom to, I've moved to the South Coast. I live close to my family, which was always the dream. Rah, rah. But it wasn't always like this for me. If you'd have met me in beginning of 2018, you would have met a very different version of Sanae. There was a time when I was, and then I would go into, this is the story, and where a lot of people find this a load of resistance coming in here is where they think that you need to go too much into the specifics of your situation, and there is a real kind of nuance here that you don't. You want to tell them how it felt to be you, because your ideal client situations are going to differ. It's not the situation that is the relatable piece, it's how it felt to be you. So I might talk about, let's go general. If I was talking to an audience and it was about debt, say money mindset, then I would talk about the shame. I wouldn't talk about, how much, where my money had been spent or how I'd spent it, what I was investing in, because other people might be saying, oh, I didn't invest that much. I didn't invest in personal growth. Mine was just to pay for my divorce, or mine was just to, I lost I was gambling. It could be anything that got them into debt, but the situation, the context is the emotion, how it feels. That's when people go, oh my, yeah, I feel that way, that secret shame, that, that feeling like I'm going to be found out. The fear that, oh my God, I hope I don't have an accident, end up in hospital, because then my family will have to see my finances. Those thoughts and feelings are what your people will resonate with more than the specifics of the situation. So when I've done this before, I've talked about purpose and being out of not knowing my purpose. And I know you've probably all had that kind of experience. So instead of saying, detailing the specifics of, I worked for financial services and I've been in this job for 17 years, I would talk about how every 2 years I was looking for a new job and I never had the confidence to go for it. And I always felt like something was missing. And therefore I would, probably go out partying a bit more than I should do, because I was constantly looking for something to fill that void. So I'm talking about how it feels to be me back in that day, in that time. And again, just to point out why it's important that you don't have to feel worried of sharing the situation specifically, is because for a lot of people, they feel, I don't want to talk about my family, because it could be about family members, could be about people who are still important in your life. Maybe you don't want your kids to see that you felt this way at one point, or that this trouble was going on with your divorce. You don't need to discuss the details. It's just, this is how I felt. So in this part of the journey, you then want to share a bit about what was the difference that made the difference. Like, what was that moment, or what was the shift that started you on the next trajectory? Maybe it was some like pivotal catalytic moment where you just thought, enough. Or it may have just been, a drip, 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 where you reached a point of threshold. But whatever it is, you want to find that part of the story that shifted everything, or the belief that you just woke up one day and you thought, do you know what? I can't live like this anymore. And I started to do the work, whatever that is for you and your niche. So you want to then describe a bit about, as a result, I began to change. You start talking about the changes that started to happen, the ripple effect of those transformations, how it started to affect the way you feel, the way you show up in your relationships, in your career, for your finances, for your family, whatever your niche is, how it started to have a ripple effect in all areas of your life. So you're sharing that part. And then as you kind of climb out, this piece that I've left blank here is simply, and this is why. And this is why. Oops. And this is why. Because now you're leading them, and this is why I do what I do. And this is why I'm so passionate about helping your ideal clients achieve this result. Or this is why I'm on a mission to help these people. This is why I'm on a, I'm so passionate about teaching this stuff. So whatever it is that you are passionate about doing and who you do it for, that goes up there. And that's why it kind of makes sense. It's a journey. This is who I am today. But I wasn't always like this. Because if you'd have met me just 3 years ago, you would have met a totally different version. I felt like this. This is what I was struggling with. It affected everything in my life because. And then one day I had this realization and I knew something had to change, and that something was me. And then I started to do this work and things started to shift. And my life totally 180'd. And this is why now I do this work. I'm so passionate about helping people who can relate to this, who are here to create the changes. Okay, that's it. Thoughts, comments, questions? Rebecca, go on. You're muted at the minute.
Oh no, I just feel like, I don't know, I just feel like I want it to land now. I mean, obviously it was all really clear what you said. As you know, before I did this story for where I was in my relationships, but now I'm doing it where I want to be working with businesses and helping people with mindset, mind, body, and soul in businesses. And God, the bit where I was, I can really relate to, and I can really remember all that and everything. I think it's just the beginning bit of how to pitch that. I don't know. I just feel like really a bit like, like that confused state before it's all going to become clear.
So just trusting.
I think just trust it. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I might even start with the middle bit and then the first bit might come. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a great idea if you feel sort of confused, because as you start to write this bit, you start to, oh my
Yeah.
God, that's not me anymore.
Yeah.
Wow. And it starts to inform.
I mean, maybe I do pitch it around relationships because it really was how I used to show up at work, and I was just really miserable and used to just not even know the impact had on anyone, and and all of that. So I think maybe I still need to pitch it around relationships, because I'm thinking if I went into a business, there's going to be all sorts of different people, but most people are stressed or depressed.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So how do you help people now, Rebecca?
how do I help people now?
Yes.
Well, the business thing is a new thing that I'm going to work with somebody else. We're going to do some mind, body, and soul stuff. She does more the Reiki, the massage and stuff. I'm going to do more the mindset. So we're using NLP and energy alignment method really, but mainly NLP to teach them about. And it's really back to basics about, awareness of our thoughts, our filters, our programming, and knowing that we can change that. So that's what I want to do, to help people to understand that they're causing their own stress and suffering.
Yeah. Okay. So your pivotal moment really is around when I changed how I felt. I attracted the relationship of my dreams, and that's when I realized that it's all in here. This is the thing, and so that then it becomes quite expansive.
Yeah, or even just attracted a life all round, really. Happier at work and just everything, really. I think
Yeah.
I could do
Yes.
that. Yeah, rather than make it about, because some people might be sitting there going, Well, because what I found is that a lot of the single women that I meet in my my area, a lot of them have given up, and actually really don't want to meet anyone, even though underneath it I know they do. But it's kind of so I don't really want to go down that route in case people just go, oh well, that's not for me anyway. Like, oh, she met a husband, she's really happy, great. I don't want that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, if you're going down that route, you want people that
Yeah.
are really wanting to.
Yeah.
They know that they need to change, so they're on that path.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, if you're going
Yeah.
into the business world, then yeah, that
Yeah.
this would be a great way, because it's great for a way to present to businesses that this is why I do what I do.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
know the effect on business and on
Yeah.
results and on performance.
Yeah. So I think the relationship's still there about now I take responsibility for how I show up my relationship with others, which means I have great relationships with everyone, so that kind of thing is still there, but yeah, it's not so much on the romantic, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Brilliant. But yeah, just I start at the bottom then and go backwards.
yeah, thanks. Yeah. Even just saying that, it's just helped. I don't know where I just felt like I feel okay now. I feel more open.
Oh, good.
Thank you very much for letting me talk that through. Thank you.
Claire.
Hello, good morning. Oh my gosh, that was just the absolute perfect timing this morning, because I've done this exercise before with you, and if I'm really honest, I didn't really get it. But this morning I did it through the lens of who I want to join my 5-day challenge.
Oh,
And
cool.
that was really, really interesting, kind of understanding which parts of my story I needed to showcase to attract the kind of person I want to help on the challenge.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was right away. It was great.
Brilliant. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that, Claire. It's excellent. Thank you. So here's a challenge if you're up for it. And looking around, I don't think anyone's not done video or lives. So how about you create your expert positioning story? And as Claire said, this is another good point actually, is you can choose the part that you want to focus in on. So for example, just like Claire said, for this 5-day challenge, I might focus on that part of my story where I'm the relentless high achiever, constantly tripping myself up, never reaching the goal, never feeling satisfied, always frustrated and overwhelmed, because that was who I was, what I was talking to when I created the challenge. So I might create one of these specifically for that part of my story. And then I might create another one specifically for the money stuff, the debt stuff. So again, thank you, Claire, for that. You can just create it for a specific point of your story. If you're creating a lead magnet, just focus on that part of the pain or the problem that you've overcome and you want to help people with. But what I was going to suggest is, how about for a challenge over the weekend, the next 4 days, is to why not write it out and then share it in the group as a live, if you'd be willing to do that. Yeah, thank you. Just to practice it. Ingeborg?
Can you then maybe just go a little bit deeper in the last step where I'm going and plateau?
Yeah, so if the last step where I'm going is the reason why you do what you do. So it's the mission you're on, or why you're so passionate about what you do. Well, sorry, this informs why you're so passionate about what you do. And this is why, and this one informs what you do for people, where you take them and who you're taking. So where I'm going is I'm creating this, a business, or I'm building a business, or I have a business that helps people in this specific way. This is why I'm so passionate about reaching as many people as I can in this particular area. So it's your story informs why you do what you do. Because up here, you're living the dream. It's aspirational. You've created this life for yourself, this self-esteem, this confidence, this relationship, this business, whatever it is you've created for yourself. Even saying, you know, I wake up every day feeling purposeful. Compared to, I know, especially Irina, for example, I know your ideal client, you know, to say you wake up every day feeling purposeful and aligned with your career, then that's hugely aspirational for Irina's ideal client. So it's really about what that mission is for you. All good? I can see cogs turning. It's brilliant.
So is it the why, about the why, is it why after the shift and why before the shift? Are you saying that? Because in the bottom, you said something about why the earlier, and then where I'm going is also about the why, or maybe I misunderstood.
So yeah, so and this is why is the as you okay,
Yeah,
Mandy,
okay.
as you're coming out of the story, so you've shared the struggle and how it felt to be you, and then you share a bit about, and then I discovered X, or I realized this, or something happened, and I began to change, and I experienced this degree of transformation, and it has changed everything. Oh my God, my life is now incredible. And even those days where it's not incredible, I can handle it with confidence. And it's life changing. And this is why I do what I do. So it's telling people, it's kind of what's the word? Validating the reasons why you're so passionate. And people get on board with that.
Yeah, thank you. It's helpful.
Good. Okay. Okay. Well, that's all for today. That's it, folks. So I'm going to leave this with you. I would absolutely love to see some live streams of this into the community, if you'd be up for it, Rebecca.
I just wanted to thank you really for saying in the middle bit that you don't have to give specific examples, because I know that when I've done work with other people, they've said, you know, and I hear this, you know, they'd give you the worst, you know, they were raped as a child, or the parents did this, or the parents did that. And it just makes me, I know it's for a dramatic effect. I know obviously it might have happened to them. I'm not saying it didn't, but I just find that really difficult. Like you said, when I talk about my childhood, I almost feel really disloyal to my parents. So I just want to thank you for saying, like, this is just about the feeling. I think that's really important.
Yeah. We connect, and again, it's sort of, I don't want to add sleaze factor to it, but people buy the why.
I know, yeah.
And so when we connect emotionally, not a single purchase is made from a logical perspective. It's always, how will this make me feel? How will this make me look? Well, you know, there's always an emotional driver. And so when you can connect with people emotionally, some people, if you shared a traumatic story, you might actually make people think, oh, I didn't go through that. My story is nothing like that. And that's a big block. A lot of people say, God, my story is just nothing really. And it isn't. It's your story. It's really emotive. It was big for you. So yeah, I think sometimes when I read stuff like that, I think, wow, I better find, you know, it's not for me, perhaps. So I'm glad that sort of clicked in for you, that you don't need to shovel the shit. Okay. All right. So I'm going to leave it there. Again, if you have questions, please post them in the group. I'm around on my laptop today. I'm traveling, but I'm taking my laptop on the train. You're so welcome. It's lovely to see you all, and I will speak to you all later. I'll see you on Monday, hopefully. All right, my lovelies. Bye.